Good evening and welcome to Paranormal Path Peeps. And tonight's special guest is Jeremy York from the Things Network. And you also got another group, haven't you? Formerly the Hosiers.
Yeah, hold on. Let me get this thing shared out. I hate how they've done this new sharing thing on Facebook.
Yeah, every time you go in it, it's different, isn't it?
It's
It's
very different.
shocking.
Before we used to be able to go down a line and share, 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 share. Now it's like share, go to another screen, share. Then you got to
Yeah.
back out, share, go to another screen, share. Such a pain.
Yeah, it's like, you just get used to Facebook. You actually think it's reasonable. And then something silly happens and it just makes things so much harder, doesn't it?
It oh,
And as for that everyone thing, that really drives me insane.
it really does, and it's like don't mess with it if it's not broke.
Yeah, exactly. And at the moment, I can't actually find the page, so yeah, I'm just going to try and share in a minute. But yeah, it's
It,
just mad how Facebook sort of works. And we've got Carl on the Carl watching at the moment. I hope you're okay.
hello.
So yeah, and I'll just share again. So you've been so
Yes.
busy, haven't you, Jeremy?
What's
You've
that?
been you've been writing books. You've been
Yes, I
planning
have been.
events.
I've got two books that are completed, and I'm in the middle of a third one right now.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah, it's not easy. People are thinking, oh, you just sit down and write. Well, yeah, but you got to think about how you're going to write this stuff, how you're going to word it, and everything. Write it to where it's going to keep people's attention.
Yeah.
So, right,
Like
yeah, it
I
is not easy.
well, I started writing and it's like, well, I don't know how I'm going to write loads. Like where do you start for it all? And I, in the at the beginning, I was like writing loads of like extra things in just to kind of fill it.
Mhm.
But then when I got to the end of it, I thought, why have I written all that rubbish? So I've actually gone through and I've deleted a lot of it.
To me, the worst part of it all is trying to write that first sentence.
I knew that. I've known that for years.
Yeah,
That was my easiest.
it is brutal. I forget which story it was. I
Cute.
had actually gotten 2, 3 pages in, and then I was like, "This sucks." I deleted the whole thing and started over again. Uh,
Yeah.
because the narrative just wasn't flowing for me.
Yeah.
Uh,
My forward started off really crazy. And it's just like a load of questions. I thought, this sounds mad and it's not like reflection of a true book. So like people will see this forward think, oh my gosh, what the hell is she on about? And that's it. They won't read anymore. So I've got
yeah,
rid of a lot of that.
that's exactly what I did. I write it out, then I read it like I'm listening to an audio book. I'm thinking, okay, this works. This part
Yeah.
works, but this one here doesn't. So I got to scrap that part,
Yeah.
and then come just trying to come up with original ideas. That's not the easiest thing in the world either.
No, that's it. You don't want it to sound like someone else's book either. Like
But
there are a lot of like books within the paranormal field which my friends have written, and you don't want it to be anything like that. You know what I mean?
hmm
But yeah, it is hard. But for me, it's hard just to get it over the line. So like about 3 years ago, I'm sure that I said I'd finished it, and yeah, okay, still not published it yet.
yeah, and it also helps if you get into like a daily routine, doing the same thing every day.
Yeah,
Hello, everybody out there. Because I know for some people, they just write whenever they have time,
I do. Yeah,
and that might only be once a week.
If that, to be fair.
Yeah,
Yeah. And I've just been away for a week, and I just I thought, oh, a week I can finish it. Nah, I wasn't in the right frame of mind. I was on holiday, and yeah, I kind
right.
of was really busy on holiday. I wasn't actually doing anything, but I was actually busy. I don't know how. Chilling
And,
out, watching the sea. I don't. It's mad,
and
isn't it?
and I am in that lucky position where I have the time to write every single day.
Yeah.
I think I have only missed a writing session 3 times since the new year, and that was all in January and February.
Yeah.
So for the last 5 months, I have written minimum. Uh, Let me take that back. With the exception of one day, and that was the day that I had one of my surgeries, I have written a minimum of 2,000 words. Um, some days I had actually gotten up to 4,000, 5,000 words in a
Wow.
day. But the one day that I didn't, it was when I had my eye surgery. About 4 hours after that, I got on the computer, started writing, and I was only able to get out 800 words, but I needed to get that out.
Wow. That's just incredible. Just to keep going. It really is.
Yeah,
Motivation to do that day in day out.
you have to treat it like a job, really.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. I do kind of manage to get
Yeah,
up and this. Yeah.
that's what I consider my
Right.
job now is
Yeah.
to get on the computer and write. It's not like how for some people, yeah, we get on the computer, we just mess around and all of that. Nope. No Facebook, no YouTube, no nothing. Bring up my Word document, clickety clack.
And that's what annoys me because what I do, I find that I'm actually on Facebook and I might be like putting my opinion on a post or something, which I do tend to do sometimes when people are, it just draws you in, doesn't it? Sometimes,
Yeah.
I'm not rude. I'm always try to be nice and constructive to some degree, but I always, I do try and help and stuff. And you just find like you're typing all these words here, and when you could actually be typing it on your book.
What's
And
that?
that's it. You're typing it all on like Facebook, aren't you? You think, well, what am I doing? You need to type this in your book, you know, and that's it, isn't it?
Yeah, and I have my phone on silence all the time. And I do know that I have messages come in. I see them, and I'll do a quick look. If it's like important, like something like a message from my dad, then I'll stop and call him. But if not, if it's just a message from whatever, letting me know this and that, then I'll just wait until I'm done. Then I'll focus on the message
Yeah,
because I don't really want to bring my focus from the book because I need to keep my mind in that world.
yeah, definitely. It does take a while to get into that zone anyway. You have to
Exactly.
be in the right frame of mind because, like, trying to edit, you read it and like I can get to like through 7 chapters, then you go back to it again. You've kind of lost the thread, haven't you? And
Right.
just trying to get back into that zone to especially if you've repeated yourself somewhere,
Right.
which I
No.
found
And,
recently.
I'll go through, and people ask. I've been asked, do I just write everything and then go back and edit, or do I do the editing while I'm writing? And I'll do that while I'm writing. I'll go through, read it, go through the spelling corrections and the grammar corrections, uh, providing I know the proper grammar for it. Because
Yeah,
um, but I like to go through and take things out, add some things in as I'm writing. I'll write a specific spot, and then I'll backtrack a few pages to make sure everything is consistent with what I'm writing now.
yeah.
And then if it's not, then I'll either change what I'm doing now or I'll change what I did there and make sure everything is going.
Yeah, I've had to change because I thought I finished it 2 years ago, just straight out of COVID. So, we're in a different world then. So certain things like I've just had to change. It
Right.
happened like I was like moving forward. I don't know, what's going to become of us, what we can do, like investigating wise. But now, like 2 years on, that ain't the question. We're in that area, aren't we? So already, like that's out of date. So got a good question here from Diane L. Doyle. What are you writing about?
Well, this book that I'm writing right now is called The Man with No Past, and it is basically a Western story. And let me get this out right now. Western the Western genre, the cowboy and Indian genre, I hate it. I
Right.
am not a fan of that.
My
Um,
my dad loved it. He really did. The old westerns. Yeah.
my dad does too. Every time I go to his house, which is 2 times a day, he's got a cowboy show on, and
Oh my God.
it's just not interesting to me.
Yeah,
It
I get
really
you.
isn't. But I wanted to do a story of some kind for him,
Oh, beautiful.
and I'm thinking to myself, okay, I how am I going to do this? Because they say write what you know, but to be completely honest, what I know isn't all that good. It's not all that good. Um, so I need to go put myself in a fictional setting, um, something that's interesting
Oh,
because
bless you.
there's nothing around here that's interesting. Um, so then I got so I started doing a little bit of research in looking up some different books and some different movies that was made in the Western genre, and I'm like, okay, how am I going to come up with a story that hasn't been told yet from the 1800s?
Yeah.
So then I started thinking about a more recent cowboy movie called Cowboys versus Aliens with Daniel
Ah.
Craig in it. I thought, okay, this is the only movie, the only cowboy story that I know of that has science fiction thrown in there. So I wanted to go with that, and basically this story here is a Western fiction set in the 1880s, but there's going to be a science fiction twist in the end where time travel is involved.
Ooh, interesting.
And there's going to be hints and clues throughout the entire book.
Nice one. We've got Wayne watching. His
Yeah.
his good friend Ghost Cowboys.
Ghost
Uh,
Cowboy.
he he writes a series called Spookinori. So he's got 4 books out. He's on his fifth now. If I'm right,
Okay.
Wayne. But yeah, so Wayne's been writing what 2 to 3 years. So yeah, he's doing well.
Yeah, I'm not doing this one here isn't a there's nothing supernatural involved in this story, so there won't be any ghosts or anything, but there are going to be ghosts of memories, if that makes any
Yeah,
sense.
get you. Yeah.
So that will be in there. But I do have a novel in the back of my mind. It's already trying to flesh itself out while I'm writing this. uh, that's going to have exorcism involved in it,
Ooh,
and
interesting.
it's basically going to be because all the exorcist stories that we know, all the movies, they, you only have the one exorcist come in, and then they do their battle, and then they win at the end.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm going to do a story of what happens when the exorcist doesn't know what he's doing.
I bet that's the case in a lot of them as well, isn't it?
Right.
Like there's no like, well, the kind of I guess there is some way. People have obviously had training in it with churches and
Right.
things like that, but Yeah,
That's what
whether they
this is
can
going to
do it
be
like that.
about, because this is going to be about somebody contacting an exorcist, a self-proclaimed exorcist, and they bring him in and they find out, oh my God, this is a real demon. I have never dealt with one of these before, and it's just going to go from there.
Awesome. Sounds cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
that's great.
but I've got ideas for about 20 novels right now. I actually have a list of what I want to do.
Wow.
Um,
Oh, that's so cool. Um, yeah, but you're also busy on other things as well. So you put together something called the Paranormal Giving Tree.
I actually, I'm not the one that put the original thing together. That was actually created by Tori Westhoff, and when she created it, it was called the Paranormal Relief Project. And but it's the same thing. And
Yeah.
I was brought in the very early stages when she was trying to get people together and work on this thing. And we had about 30 locations lined up. Um, we didn't exactly have 30 locations actually go through on the night of,
Yeah.
because there were some reports where people would go to the locations and their doors are locked or their gates are locked.
Oh no.
Yeah, that wasn't that
Shocking.
wasn't real pretty. So, but it was still a success.
Yeah.
Um, we didn't quite have the 30, but we weren't too far off. And what Troy wanted to do was do this event as a thank you for all of the first responders, police, nurses, doctors, firemen that had to work through COVID, even though there was still a lot of people that were working through COVID when they shouldn't have.
Yeah. That's
So
it.
she wanted to focus on this specific group. So after everything was said and done, we was wondering, okay, what are we going to do for the second year? I don't want to do a second year. It was too much work for me. If you want it, you can have it. Here's the page. There you go. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I took it back to the team and we talked it over. We renamed it the Paranormal Giving Tree,
Yeah.
which which for this kind of thing sounded better, and the name just flowed better than Relief Project,
Yeah.
and it made
Yeah.
more sense.
Relief project could be anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So the Given Tree, that name just sounded like it had more sense to what we were looking to do.
Yeah.
Um, and for the second year, we were going to focus on military veterans. And during the beginning stages of planning for that, that's when I had my accident and everything came to a dead stop.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
for people who haven't really seen Jeremy before, he had a massive accident. What? It was December, what, 21, was it?
December 16th, 2021.
Yeah. So you're all set for Christmas and everything else, and just one day you went in work and it sort of changed everything, didn't it, really?
Yep. I went to work and we were an hour and a half away from going home. It was towards the end of the shift. And instead of going home, I took a trip to the hospital and stayed there for the next almost 20 days, something like that.
Blimey. And you
Yeah.
couldn't eat for how many months? God.
Um,
Nightmare.
initially, I could not eat for 117 days.
Shh.
Yeah. Lost a lot of weight that way.
Oh
Um,
gosh, yeah,
with
it's
that,
not pleasant though,
yeah,
is it? Yeah. Oh dear.
not the way to lose it, I'll tell you that.
No.
And the reason I couldn't eat initially was because I had my mouth wired shut for the first 6 weeks, and they did a complete facial reconstruction. when they took the bands out so that I could finally open my mouth, that was when they discovered that they put bones in the wrong place, and those bones were preventing my jaw from opening.
No,
Yeah,
I didn't realise. That's shocking. Bad
it
enough
was
anyway, but then, yeah, to get
it
that
was hard.
setback.
What most people don't know is the muscles in my mouth, because it was closed all the time. After the bands got taken out, and I was only able to open my mouth 3 millimeters.
Wow.
That's how bad it was. But the muscles were trying to open my mouth, and it was just a reflex, like how the doctor does on your elbows and your
Yeah.
knees. It was like that with my mouth, and my muscle is trying to open the jaw, but the bone was preventing it. So, and and this would happen multiple times an hour throughout the entire day. So it was nothing for me to be sleeping or trying to go to sleep, and then all of a sudden my jaw would start opening up, and it would hurt.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But it's amazing how far you've come because you've kept going. And during that time, you just started the Things Network then, hadn't you?
Yeah, it was not even 2 months old.
Yeah, that's
The
it.
net, yeah, it was not even 2 months old. I had just gotten done from taking a paranormal vacation,
Wow.
because we started the network. We launched the network October 29th. Right after that, I took my break, and we had people in place where they can be able to handle any issues, and
Yeah,
they
you did.
did.
Yeah.
Then I came back December 1st. Then apparently I wasn't done taking a break from everything. So I had my little
Yeah.
accident, took a break from everything.
Yeah. But it just goes to show you've got to make the most of things. Just go out and grab anything you can because you just don't know what's going to happen. Like at the moment, I've got a friend who's really quite ill. You
Hmm.
know, you didn't realise, and
And
you
what I've been
don't. It just hits you, doesn't it? And
doing. That's what I've been doing. I have vowed to not let anybody dictate my life anymore, ever.
yeah, that's
Um,
it.
so that's why I'm doing these books, so that if I can get them published and make a living off of that, then
That's right.
yeah, I can live my life how I want,
Yeah.
instead of literally being a slave for somebody, which is what people are.
Well, that's it. You go to work just to keep you in food, but it can make people richer, can't it?
Yeah,
The shareholders and whatever.
yeah,
Yeah,
we
definitely.
go to work so that we can make minimal amount of money, so that the people we are working for can make an ungodly amount of money.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So what's
Yeah,
fair about that?
that's right. Yeah, it's a mutual friend of ours and Carl's, so we hope our friend does get some good news. It's yeah, been quite of a shocker, really. Yeah, so keep hoping every day and sending best wishes and everything. Yeah, so where did the paranormal start for you though, as well? Because like you got onto things, but where did it start with your interest in the paranormal?
It actually started with ghost hunters.
Okay, that's cool.
Um, I didn't watch it on TV when it was on. They were already into the. It was either the third or fourth season before I even discovered them, and I was at the DVD section at Walmart looking for a new show to watch, and they had the first season of Ghost Hunters, and I thought, this sounds interesting. I thought it was a regular TV show. I did not know that it was a reality show. When I started watching that, I'm thinking, this is something I could do,
Oh
because
wow.
what these guys are doing is helping people,
Yeah.
and they're helping people in a way that you don't, or at the time you never saw anywhere.
Yeah.
So I thought, I've always enjoyed helping people. Let's do this.
That's cool.
Uh, and so
Yeah.
that was, hi Nick. So that would have been third, fourth season. So that would have been about '07, '08, and '09 is when I started things,
That's
the
cool.
investigation team. And then it just built from there, and now I have things, everything.
Yeah. You do. You have been so busy. So, like your first investigations, what sort of thing did you do? Just like go locally, or
Well, my yeah, that's the funny thing. So I live in Indiana, so I'm between the
oh, Nick?
middle
Sorry, Nick is just too funny.
swimming.
Don't drop me phone, mate.
Nick, I do not want to hear any complaints at the end of the night if you dropped your phone into the swimming pool.
Oh my
I
gosh.
don't want to hear no complaints about that. So
Sorry about
anyway,
that.
Indiana is about is towards the east side of the country. I was all the way over in Nevada on the west side for my very first investigation, um, at the Gold Hill Hotel, which was actually featured on the Ghost Adventures documentary, the
Wow.
original documentary, before they
Wow.
got before they got all dumb and stupid with their,
Yeah, and
yeah,
even worse now. Yep.
right. Um,
No comments.
so it was just me by myself inside one of the children's room. I forget which room it was, because they have five five different rooms, and each one of them is supposedly haunted by a specific spirit. And one of the rooms that I was in was haunted by a child, and there were two child's rooms there. One is haunted by William, and the other one is haunted by Rosie. And I forget which one it was that I was in.
Oh wow.
And it was just a very minor thing. I didn't really know anything at the time. All I had was my K2 meter, and I'd just be sitting there asking questions. And every now and then, I'll get a little blip on the lights. That
Did you
was it.
have your phone near it as well? Did you have your phone in Wi-Fi and it kept blipping?
Um, let's see.
I wouldn't even have known about that then.
I don't think I knew about Wi-Fi at that time.
Yeah, that's
If
it, isn't there?
they
Like,
had it at the time, I don't know.
yeah,
um, but that was the very first investigation I ever did. It
oh,
was just a
that's
little
cool.
solo 20-30 minute thing. But
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. For the next several years, every time I would go out to the Reno area, I would always make my first night there in Virginia City, and I would stay somewhere. And it was either at that Gold Hill Hotel, which I stayed in 4 or 5 times,
Wow.
and there was another year where I went to the Silver Queen Hotel that's supposed to be really haunted. Um, and one of the rooms had a prostitute commit suicide back in the
Okay.
1800s, but I wasn't able to get that room. I got the room right next to it where they said that was just as active because of her, but I never had anything happen in that room.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
So, that first place you went to, did you ever take a team there?
no,
No.
I have never taken a team out there. Now I have gone and investigated with a couple people
Yeah.
who lived there locally, but I've never taken anybody with me
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
It,
It's
it,
just great how things start, and then how it like moves on. Like if you investigate now, what's your sort of standard technique?
I've only done one investigation this year.
Oh well.
And that was actually a month ago. We did a school, and it's the first time I had ever done a school, so I
Okay.
was really excited about that.
Yeah.
Um, this weekend we're going to be doing a jail, which is about 40 minutes away. Um, so I'm pretty excited about that one. It's a public/private event. We sold tickets to it. The person who's doing it, and I'm helping her run it.
That's
Clarissa,
cool.
yeah, Unveil Paranormal. So I'm helping her out with that. She sold tickets to it, but the people that are coming, she knows.
Yeah. I
Um,
do those. I book locations and then advertise it out on a little group I've got. Of
yeah.
all people who are experienced, and we go out and see what we can get rather than the public event type thing where you
Mhm.
got to do certain things and yeah, past that
Now, I
stage.
have done a public event where it was just open to anybody and everybody that wanted to come in.
Yeah.
No tickets, no nothing like that. And at first, I thought it would be like what I'm doing with Clarissa.
Uh huh.
Nope.
No.
This one here actually had a little girl. She couldn't have been 9 or 10, and she was going everywhere with this REM pod, and this REM pod would not shut up.
Oh no.
Yeah. She actually barged in on an EVP session that I was doing with Scott Smith and
God
someone else.
no.
And she came in there, this thing, and oh, I had a headache that night.
Yeah, I get you because sometimes equipment does annoy me. Like
Mhm,
I've had okay, I was at stage Paracon, one of the first ones I did, and I was had an hour in a room with Katrina Weldman, and somebody got this boo bear. So she's trying to do EVPs and stuff, and there's this damn boo bear going. It's too hot. It's too cold. I wanted to just get it and lob it out the window. It oh god, you know what I mean? It's so bloody frustrating because you had a chance to actually investigate with Katrina, and we did a bit, but that boo bear, it's right. So
right.
yeah, I'm kind of off those now.
Yeah. So I try not to do public events like that.
Yeah,
Um, Not only for that reason, but also another reason is that if it's open to the public, you're gonna have way too many people,
yeah, that's right.
and you're not gonna be able to get the experiences that you're looking for.
That's right.
Yeah.
There is a massive difference in the UK. Like some events companies can have 30. They'll cut it into two, three groups, but you just kind of find everything's safe and nothing really happens.
It's
Where there's too much protection, but it's a mixture of people as well. Some don't even want to be there sometimes.
Now,
And
if it was
that's
a
the biggest threat.
large, very big location, then I can see having 20 people.
Yeah, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, you can. But I've known gosh, there's one location. It's had a room, say small hall, and there's like a church, I guess, like a Methodist church, I guess, in the US, like not a small, quite a small room,
Hmm.
and it had 45 people trying to cram into that, and they split them into 15 per group, and the rest of it was outdoors. Now, luckily, it wasn't raining. UK, it rains a lot. So, luckily, it was quite a hot summer's night.
Yeah, you guys are way up north. Um, it
Well, I'm in the
wasn't
Midlands. I'm in the Midlands, but yeah.
well. It wasn't until about a year or so ago that I realized how much further up north your islands are from
Where
from
you
us.
are. Yeah, but
Yeah,
your place is just massive, isn't it? We can't even understand the scale of your country.
I always thought that England was on the same line as New York.
Nope.
Turns out that is not the case. You guys are above Maine.
Yeah.
That's that's a big difference.
Yeah, and it's like if we like, I'm going to Scotland, and I'm in like the middle of the UK, so the Midlands. So for Scotland, it's a long drive for me. It's 6.5 hours. You guys, it's nothing, is it?
It, it takes me 2 hours just to get to the middle of my state.
Oh gosh. Yeah. I guess like I'm right in the centre of Nottinghamshire, so an hour and a quarter to get to the top end of it.
Right.
But yeah,
Well, that's what I like about Europe, because all of your countries are small.
yeah,
Whereas over here, it started out small on our states on the east side, but the further out west you go, the bigger the states get.
yeah.
It's almost like they had lost their imaginative boundaries. Like now it's all across the western states, it's just a straight line everywhere. Whereas here on the east side, they used all the rivers and all of that for the state borders instead of just going whoop,
Oh well.
yeah.
But I just can't understand. I can't get the scale at all. I'd love to go to Gettysburg. I'd love to go to MI Paracon. I'd love to go to the Queen Mary. But for me, I wouldn't know how to get from Gettysburg to the Queen Mary. She got to fly, and it's mad. I don't get this internal flight business.
Yeah,
Like, fair
you
enough,
can't
it's
fly
easy for us
unless
to fly
you.
to Edinburgh, but wow,
Yeah, I've actually driven from the east coast all the way to the west, and that takes 4 days.
wow.
Yeah,
And
that's,
how long per day driving is that?
what's that?
How long do you drive per day to do that?
Minimum of 12 hours.
Gee.
One of those days, I left at 5 in the morning and kept driving until 9 that night, and that was gaining 2 hours because of the time zones.
Oh
So
my gosh, yeah, that's mad as well, isn't it?
so
Yeah,
that
this time zone business for us.
17 hours, 18 hours of driving that one day.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's just like like okay, we can fly to Europe, like Spain, Italy, whatever. What like 1 to 2 hour time differences, but to have like massive time differences within one country for us is like,
for me
oh,
to
yeah,
fly to Nevada from where I'm at is 4 hours, four
wow,
and a half hours. Yeah,
gosh,
and that's if it's a straight through, no connecting flights.
wow,
But
that's
unless you have a location that's close to you, you it's hard to get um, just one flight.
yeah, that's it because you have got so many brilliant locations, and they must be miles apart. Like there's Queen Mary, there's Alcatraz, there's
I've
there's just
actually
loads.
been to Alcatraz, and
Hey,
it is an awesome place to go to. When I went there, it was long before I even knew there was a paranormal field. Um,
wow, that's cool.
you know, and just the history on Alcatraz is just amazing. It really is.
Yeah.
Um, and that they actually took an island and turned it into a prison. Yeah,
Yeah, just to build it, like
I know. And
everything
to be able
about
to
it.
sustain it too.
Oh, are you empathic at all? Are
What's that?
you empathic? Do you pick up feelings?
No,
Do you
I'm
sense
not.
things? Oh, okay.
Well, I say I'm not. Other people beg to differ.
Yeah.
Adrian will be the first one to tell you, oh, yeah, he feels things.
Oh, well, bless you. So, like, for instance, when you go to Alcatraz, like, if you're empathic, like, the amount of things that you must pick up, like the
Oh, I'm sure they
feelings and
could.
everything.
Yeah. because that was a maximum security prison, so
Yeah.
that made it one of the more dangerous places to go to, just like Eastern State
Oh
Penitentiary.
wow. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that one was a maximum security as well. So usually, the more dangerous a prison was, the more people are apt to feel it.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's such an oppressive um, environment, but then you've got all these like violent people, haven't you, within a small area?
Hmm.
And there's bound to
Um,
be things happening all the time.
and being in Alcatraz, like Phantom Seeker said, it is eerie, because you already know what the history of that place
Yeah.
is. Many people have died there, and they said that this is the one prison that nobody would ever be able to escape from.
Oh.
Well, they were wrong.
Well, if
Even surrounded by the bay like that. But I don't think what they took into account when they were planning this prison out was the high tide, low tide thing.
okay.
Um, and there's a lot of theories out there that when the three main prisoners that escaped, I don't remember what their names are, but Clint Eastwood was one of them in that movie that he made.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people think that when they escaped, they got through because of the low tide.
Wow.
Yeah. Um, and that would make sense. It would make
Definitely.
it easier if you're swimming. But I don't know. I want to say they had a raft created, but I don't. My mind's a little fuzzy on the history of the escape itself. But
Yeah.
they was able to get away.
It's like your locations are like huge as well. Some of them, like you there's some photos of you at Waverley Hills, and oh my gosh, like you see a picture, it doesn't mean anything, but I think you did a live from there, and it's absolutely huge.
It
I get lost.
let's put it this way: people saying, "Oh yeah, it's a big place. I can't wait to go there." And I tell them the same thing. It is not as small as you think it is big. It's bigger than that. That's what I tell people.
Yeah, because
It's
it like when you were right there, it's just massive. It was not what I expected at all.
when
You just
when
think a
you're
big
there,
house, don't you? Not that. It's
when
huge.
you're there, you can't turn your head enough to catch all the one side. You have to turn your body to
Wow.
be able to see the entire thing. And you have to be way back in order to see the entire building.
Yeah.
Um,
Because they're the photos that you've seen, aren't like when we see Waverley Hills, you just see the photo from a distance.
yeah,
But then, like when you were close up, it's like, oh my god.
the, the main building is in three wings.
Okay.
Each wing is almost 500 feet long.
Wow.
Um, and then there's that fourth wing that shoots off into the distance, and in that fourth wing is where you got that access chute, the
Mm,
access tunnel that everybody calls the body chute, the death tunnel, but
yeah.
it's really a when it was built as a supply tunnel. Um, Only later did they start transporting bodies through there because so many people were dying, but not as many people died as what's purported to be. Certainly not 63,000 people.
Blimey. Yeah.
Um, the more accurate number, I think, is more like 9,000 total.
Gosh. Yeah. Would they have records of everyone who ever went there though?
Oh yeah, they
Yeah.
actually have a historical society. Well,
Wow.
let me rephrase that. They used to have a historical
Okay.
society.
Yeah.
And Wayne, yes, the original the owners have it back. All the bad people are gone.
That's great because I knew there's a great great big celebration when they actually got back, which was brilliant. And
Yeah.
yeah,
So Tina and Charlie have it back 100%. Um, they do have a board, and
oh good,
their daughter is on that board.
right.
And I don't know who all else is, but Waverly is now 100% back under Tina and Charlie's control.
Oh, that's fantastic. It's like Eileen says, it's a nightmare keeping everyone together on investigations.
I'm going back there next month,
Oh wow.
and I'll be
Yeah,
there
you booked it, haven't you?
for 2 nights. Yep.
Yeah,
Uh, once once I got the okay that it was good to go, that it was safe to go back there, I got my
yeah.
date there, and I was also invited by another team who just happened to have it the night after I have mine booked.
So you're doing a double.
I am.
Oh wow,
I get to do back
that's
to back nights,
incredible.
which is what I always preferred doing
Yeah,
because one
I
night is
like
just
it.
not enough in that building.
No, I do like it because I did Shepton Mallet. I did 2 nights there. Richard Estep was there. He's in Colorado, and MJ Dixon ran that. And there weren't that many. It's quite like a small event in small groups and stuff. So I did Shepton Mallet one night, and then we sort of went the next night. And it's nice to get the feel of the energy like over the both nights and
Mhm.
see what you get used to it as well, don't you? And it's great.
To properly investigate that building fully, you'd probably have to spend a week
Yeah.
there. Because one night is just not enough. 2 nights, eh, I'd probably go 5 nights to
Yeah,
really,
but
really investigate that building.
just to get in somewhere, you like say you have an hour in each like area.
Mhm.
Well, it's like 4 rooms, isn't it? Four, five, 4, 5, 6 rooms, depending how many hours you're investigating. So you're not going to cover a lot of space.
No, not in
You
our
know,
building.
so
There's 400 rooms in there.
oh my gosh, yeah.
Take it.
No, I fell out of my tent. I
They,
truly
they
fell
they
out of my
actually
tent.
do have like a sleeping quarters there at Waverly that
Really? Wow.
that you can reserve for extra money, of course.
Yeah.
Um, and what it is that you can fit like 10 people in this one room with bunk beds or however they got it set up. I'm thinking I kind of like my privacy. I'll go to a hotel. I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna go
We
there.
need to do a road trip. Yeah. I do want to go to US. I do want to go to the Queen Mary
Come
because
over.
my dad used to work on the Queen Mary
Really?
when it was at sea. Yeah. I've actually like after it passed, we had to clear the house, and I've actually found an original vaccination certificate stamped Queen Mary. So
Wow.
that is like wow, yeah, because he always told us about working on the Queen Mary. He worked in one of the engine rooms, and you
Not too
know
many people have that kind of connection to the Queen Mary.
I know, and the fact I've got this vaccination certificate as well is like gold, isn't it? You know, um, I'll have to find it and check out the date on there. But it's just so incredible that like all these times, like Dad used to tell us stories on the Queen Mary, and I wasn't into paranormal, so I wasn't that interested. Because you brought up with things, aren't you? And then when you're suddenly into paranormal and you want to know about the Queen Mary, he's got Alzheimer's and dementia, so he couldn't remember. It's
And
like,
of course,
oh,
it has to be the furthest west of the states.
yeah, exactly.
Too bad it couldn't be on the east side.
I know California is miles away.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, obviously, but of course, like I'd love to go to the Gettysburg weekend because that's coming up.
Yeah, that is
A week or so, is it? Very soon. So
Yeah,
I'd love to go there, and I'd love to go to Queen Mary. But my gosh, I checked the map between the two.
yeah.
It's
It's
massive, a long way.
hmm yeah, a little bit of a difference between the two. Um, but I have never been to get well, actually either one of them really. But
I
I do
need to
want to
meet
go to
them.
Gettysburg, and I would like to go to Gettysburg for the bash
Yeah.
to check out, see all the people that are going to be there. But to be honest, I don't want to investigate during the bash.
Oh God, no, you can't.
Yeah,
There's just too many people to catch up with,
exactly.
and that's what you find. Like I'm going to like Sage Paracon was lovely. Like did it. Well, it would have been like 4 years on the trot, but COVID kicked in, so it caused an issue. Obviously, delayed it a couple of years. And you go, and it's like you're just meeting up with these people you haven't seen for a while. And you just it's brilliant. But we did investigate one night, but the rest of the time we're like parties and it's
But when
speakers.
it comes to events like that, to me, the least thing I'm interested in doing is the investigation.
Yeah,
I want to see the people.
yeah, definitely. Like
Uh,
I want to meet Wes Coleman because he's there this time.
I was actually just talking to him yesterday.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Um, Somebody had contacted me about a case up in Canada and was asking me if I had any connections.
Oh
And
yeah,
Wes, Wes was the guy.
yeah,
So,
definitely. The thing
so
was,
I
like,
got him to meet.
I was due to meet him in Edinburgh, April 2020,
Oh,
and it,
right when
yeah,
everything started.
yeah, exactly. So, we've got everything booked. He was, the flight, and then he cancelled the flight first, I think, and then obviously it was like we got in lockdown, and oh god, and then there's like three other times I was due to meet him, and he just in the end he didn't make the trips because of COVID and everything. It's
You
like, oh,
guys had one of the worst lockdowns I had ever heard. It's wow. Because
yeah,
our lockdown was not a lockdown.
really?
Yeah, they said we were locked down and all businesses were closed and only essential stores are going to stay open. 90% of our stuff was essential.
Oh my gosh.
We did not get a lockdown. Not
Oh,
the lockdown that we needed to have.
yeah. Eileen's from Edinburgh, so yeah. Um,
Because they kept um, deeming alcohol stores, liquor stores as essential.
I think it was. It
Seriously?
definitely. It was. Yeah, no, it was essential. You know
Hmm.
when they said they were going to close the pubs around here. So the pubs, the bars. They decided to close all the bars.
Right. Yeah, it's
So I went to the off license shop and just bought loads of alcohol, and online as well. Yeah, I ordered £70 worth of flavoured gin to keep me going. There's nothing
yeah.
else to do.
I don't drink any alcohol, so that
Yeah,
I looked at it as like, really?
yeah,
No. And I did have a few people. Yeah, they needed that to calm their nerves. I'm thinking, no, that just makes things worse. But that was just my personal opinion
I
about
I just spent all the time outside in my back garden. It's actually warm and sunny most nights. So from like early April, end of March, early April, it's actually warm and sunny in the UK,
it.
which
Yeah.
doesn't happen that time of year. And we spent most of the time outside in the garden chatting to our neighbours next door. So we weren't allowed to go out and about. I think we could do one walk a day, and we couldn't travel far. And oh gosh, it's mad. You're not allowed to see your relatives.
What weren't you guys under the threat of being ticketed or arrested if you
Oh
were?
god, yeah, it was horrendous.
That's
Yeah.
what I thought.
So we basically, I think you could only mix with one other household. So like you had to choose between, do you see that family or that family? Oh, it's absolutely appalling.
Hmm.
people were ill and you couldn't visit them. Oh my god, yeah. It
Yeah.
was it was shocking.
And to be perfectly honest, for me, myself, nothing changed. The almost nothing changed. The only thing that did change was that my bowling had gotten canceled, but
Ah,
we only had a month left anyway. Um, and the bowling tournament had gotten canceled, which made me mad because I was
yeah.
ready to go.
We
Uh,
lost everything. Everything got cancelled. It was
yeah, that was really the only change that
oh wow.
I still went to work, and there were a lot of people angry about that. Um, but ice cream was deemed essential because it was a food
It's the
product.
food stuff, yeah.
Um, Granted, it's a luxury food item, but still, it's food. So
Yeah,
they use that loophole to keep in business.
yeah, that's right. Well, everywhere did, what could because y- yeah,
Yeah,
and it's just amazing how some places have actually managed to keep going because it like looking back on it now, you can't believe that it happened, you know?
I know.
It's just
Um, it and now I don't hear anything
no, it's
about COVID.
people have it, a lot have got COVID.
I, I
But
have I have heard some people saying that they had COVID this year.
yeah,
And I'm thinking, how'd you get it? I don't
yeah,
hear it anywhere.
yeah,
And now I think, and a lot of people think there's that the common flu, a cold. If you have a fever, oh, you got COVID.
yeah, that's
I
it.
think
Because
that's what has amounted to that because the flu doesn't exist anymore. It's now COVID.
yeah, it like I actually got COVID, I believe, before it actually started. So I actually got it, I think, in October 19. I
Um,
had all the major symptoms.
there was a period of 6 months or so before COVID hit here officially, where people were just deathly sick and they could never figure out what was wrong with them. And then after COVID hit, they think that they had it before it washed
Mm,
over the US.
yeah,
Um, so I believe it's very possible that COVID hit a lot sooner than they expected, but
yeah,
it just didn't spread out um, like it did in the spring or
yeah. It
late
was,
winter.
yeah, it was. My gosh, but at least we're out of that now, and yeah, it is like mine's still got long COVID, and I know some people with that, and it,
I have heard,
it's
yeah,
a shocker. Yeah,
I have heard that COVID really messed a lot of people up.
definitely.
The
And
ones that survived.
it's like even my mum-in-law won't go out that much.
Yeah,
Like she doesn't want to go anywhere where there's loads of people. So there's
I
loads of
still
people
see
who are like
people
scared of
wearing
mixing.
masks. Yeah, I still see some people wearing masks.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Hmm. What gets me is when they're the only ones in the car and still wearing a mask.
Yeah, that always made me laugh anyway.
Yep.
Who they're going to catch it from? Yeah.
Yeah, it still makes me laugh, but you know,
Oh,
if it makes you feel safe, have at it.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, but oh god, I'm so glad that rubbish is over. It. Well, that the enforcement side of it, to be fair. But yeah, it was shocking.
But I
Hi,
do think
welcome.
that in some respects that having to wear a mask all the time actually did more damage than wearing
Yeah,
a mask. But it's really just all everybody's opinions.
yeah, that's it. Ew. Yeah, this is alright. A man was decapitated by a lorry trailer whose death was COVID, and like, I know somebody whose death certificate was down as COVID, and he got tested and it wasn't.
That was something I had heard a lot too. If they die by a heart attack, COVID, cancer, COVID.
Yeah, he had a
Uh,
heart attack.
it was
Tested negative, but it was COVID. Yeah. In fact, the family just kicked off and wouldn't actually let them release the body until they changed the death certificate on that
it,
case.
the worst part of it all. When one of my friends was going to the hospital to taking the COVID test, they said that if it came out positive, the test is accurate. If it came out negative, the test is inaccurate.
Oh,
And that person was told by a nurse that was
oh my
administering the
gosh.
test. I'm thinking, can we have anything consistent? Because there
Yeah.
was nothing ever consistent about the entire COVID era,
No.
at least not to me. Nothing
It,
was ever consistent.
no, that's it. And I think for a lot of us, it was worse. Like the mental effects of being like locked in your house,
Yeah,
and like specifically for people who are at school, like they're studying for exams. It's totally screwed up their lives and their education.
yeah, I did.
Like my friend's daughter, she got the results guessed by the school. So then she couldn't go and do the next exams because it guessed in a not a very favourable way.
A
So
lot of
then
our
it
schools
screws up
were,
about the jobs and then
yeah,
everything. It's just yeah.
a lot of our schools were out because my daughter was out.
Oh.
Yes, but she wasn't out for very long. I think it was only 4 5 months, and then some of the schools started opening back up. And
Oh yeah, that's yeah.
depending on the area, it was either too soon or not.
Yeah, that's right.
Mhm.
Yeah, a lot of our government they had contracts. So the
Yeah,
high-ranking government officials had contracts with PPE people, or protective. Yeah,
I
so that came in handy, didn't it?
I think if they had locked down the entire planet, completely locked it down, um, no flights anywhere, no traveling anywhere for 30 days, I think they would have been able to get rid of COVID.
They were still flying. That was it. Yeah,
I know.
it was
That's
mad.
why that's why we're saying even back then, just shut everything down for 30 days.
Yeah,
Most people, most have enough food to last them 30 days. The only thing you'd have to worry about is medications. That
yeah,
to me, that should be the only exception for people needing to get out and getting stuff.
yeah. That's right.
Otherwise, lock everything down for 30 days and the problem should be solved.
Yeah, technically, it just carried on forever, didn't it? Then you get free, and then you're locked up again. And oh no, I don't know how
But
many lockdowns we did have. It was just
yeah,
yeah,
no, you guys had one of the worst lockdowns I had ever seen. I think Italy had the same kind of lockdown you guys did. It was
yeah,
horrific.
yeah.
I can imagine.
We had different areas. This is a thing, like a different like.
Yeah,
Well, we've got counties, so counties are really tiny states in comparison. But
right.
there's like a county near me, Leicestershire, and I think from when COVID started to when it finished, they were always on lockdown because because they've got high risk everything, because there are a lot of
Right.
cases. And
But here in the US, we
mad.
didn't lock down. They said we did, but we didn't.
Wow.
Because everything was essential. Nobody wanted to do without anything.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, really? Are we going to be that guy? Yes, we are. We are that stupid.
Yeah. Well, I know it was state by state had different rules, didn't they?
All right.
Which,
But at least now we're past the worst of it. Uh,
oh gosh, yeah.
I think now is no longer considered a pandemic.
Yeah.
Um,
So the Spanish flu then
yeah,
originated in Fort Riley in Kansas.
that part I didn't know.
Yeah.
I remember Spanish flu being back in the 18, 1918.
Yeah.
Um, and if I could be wrong about this, but I think somebody said that they did some sort of study on masks then and said that masks weren't as good to wear. Okay, I'm not going on that one. I don't know anything about
No,
that one.
no, you're not getting in that one. No.
But but I read somewhere that there was a study back then on the effectiveness of masks for the Spanish flu, in that it was the same as here,
Yeah.
worthless.
Yeah.
But
That
I don't
that
know.
was it. I didn't understand how a piece of material could actually stop you from getting COVID. It just
Well,
didn't kind of.
there was a lot of times where people would be trying out that what was it, N95 mask.
Oh
And
yeah.
a lot of people were trying that out in their workplaces where there's a lot of dust and drywall and all of that. At
Yeah.
the end of the day, they take that mask off and they're completely covered in that stuff. And they say,
Yeah.
if these masks are not stopping dust particles, how
What's the
can we
benefit?
expect them to stop microscopic particles?
Yeah, that's right.
It made perfect sense to me. But like I said, nothing about the COVID era ever made any sense to me.
No, it didn't. And even people who like followed it to the letter and at the time, they do what they're told, and then even them at the end of it thought, what on earth was all this
Yeah.
about?
And
It just doesn't make sense.
and what got me about the people you said that followed it to the letter? Okay, what did they say when the leaders kept changing everything?
Oh
Yeah,
god,
this is
yeah.
safe. This is safe. Now all of a sudden it's not safe, and the other way around.
Hey,
You know,
it's quite funny in the UK. Like we're on lockdown, and then because the hospitality was struggling, like the bars and everything, the restaurants, they then did eat out to help out. So they actively encourage you that for a £5, which what $7 I guess, you could go out and have a good meal. So they actually encourage you to go out. For then the COVID level
Mhm.
rose again. You can just see it, can't you?
Right. Uh, and the worst of it all is New York at one time said that if you do not have a vaccination card, you cannot eat out. I don't know
uh,
if they still have that or not, but I know at one point they did have
well,
that.
they were kind of forcing us to have the vaccination, saying, "Oh, you might not be allowed in here, here, and here." But actually, when it came to, they never actually
Yeah.
pushed it that much. In the end, it never got to that stage.
I know New York City, they were very heavily, strictly enforcing that, but I don't know if they still are. And I haven't heard anything, but it wouldn't surprise me if they were.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, it's
yeah.
mad, isn't it? Anyway, let's change the subject. And from being stuck in an environment, so tomorrow's your big day, 4th of July, Independence Day.
It is. But to me, 4th of July during the day is nothing to me.
Okay,
To me, the real holiday is when the sun goes down,
right.
and
Okay.
that's when they shoot off the fireworks. Um, that's why I have said they need to make the 5th of July the national holiday, because
Definitely.
everybody has got to wait until it's dark before we can have our festivities.
Right.
And for those that have to get up at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning and go to work,
It,
it
it screws it up. Yeah.
right. Um, I've said the same thing about Super Bowl Sunday. They
Oh
need to
yeah,
make the Monday after Super Bowl a holiday because that's when everybody calls in.
exactly. I thought they would have done. Like, I just assumed that the 5th would have been a bank holiday.
Right.
Well, that's what we call it anyway. Bank holidays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as far as the Fourth of July goes, there is a lot of misconception that people just don't learn in school anymore. Thinking, okay, July 4th is when they declared independence,
Yeah.
signed the document,
Mhm.
but the truth is, it's not. Fourth of July is when they went public with the declaration. They actually voted on independence on the 2nd of July,
Wow.
and the signing of the document, the signing of the Declaration of Independence, went all the way into August before they got the last signature.
Okay.
And I don't remember learning that in school.
Wow.
I had to learn that through other,
Yeah, it
other
should be up there, shouldn't it?
yeah, but everybody likes the idea that 4th of July is when they declared independence and signed it, that they did it all in that one day. But the truth is, they didn't.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see,
Um,
learn new things every day,
yeah.
definitely.
But 4th of July, it just rolls off the tongue. And, to say the 2nd of July, it just doesn't seem to have that.
Yeah. Yeah, I
So
get you. It does sound better. So what is it? You meet with families? What you know? Is that it? Just get-togethers? How do you celebrate it generally?
the the only celebration I ever did was just going out there to see the fireworks. I never really did anything special during the day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I never have.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay. So it's fireworks and
just
not a
the
massive
fireworks.
meal and drinks and parties.
I've I've never been one for parties.
Yeah.
Um, I am not somebody who really enjoys going to parties.
Okay.
Um, I don't fancy cookouts.
Yeah.
I am just not an outdoors person, really.
Okay.
I
You would
don't
like
like.
camping then?
I'm I'm a recluse.
Oh, bless you.
That I don't enjoy big crowds,
Yeah.
um, and not that I have like social anxiety, but it's because of my hearing,
Uh,
and
yes.
the conversations, everything gets jumbled up.
Yeah, it's hard
So,
work.
yeah, so that's why I don't enjoy being out in big crowds because I will get lost in conversation if there's 5, 6, 7, 8 people.
Yeah, get you.
It makes it hard for me to focus on one person. And sometimes even during podcasts like this, if we have 7, 8 people on, even then I'll find myself not enjoying it because sometimes people are trying to talk over each other and I can't make out what one person is saying.
Yeah, get you. Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, so for these things, I just don't do parties or holiday gatherings or anything like that. So for Fourth
Yeah,
of July, the only thing for me, fireworks at night.
that's cool. Yeah. So you mentioned your hearing though. Do you find that you hear things from a paranormal perspective?
No,
You don't pick up because where you sort of it doesn't work sort of normal, then
no, because it's actually hindered me on that. People all of a sudden stop. Hey, did you hear that? No.
uh-huh. Yeah.
That. How did you not hear that? Because I don't hear very well.
Yeah. Yeah, I
and,
get
and one person had actually asked me if I might hear anything different because I'm wearing hearing aids.
that's what I was wondering with the different frequency.
Yeah. Um, as far as I can tell, that has never been the case.
Yeah.
It'd be pretty cool if it was.
See, my friend can. She'll hear something and she says, "Oh, can you hear this?" Or she said, "Oh, can you listen to this EVP?" I can't hear anything, and she does.
No.
So she does
Um,
tune into different, which is
the
great.
only thing that would help me would be the different pitch,
Yeah, the
but
frequency-ish. Yeah,
yeah, but that would be about it. Um,
yeah,
I may hear that, and then I'll say something to somebody else. Yeah, I do hear that too, but only after they have been made aware of that. Because it might be something that they're used to, and I'm not.
yeah,
But if somebody comes up and says, "Hey, I just heard a voice," I did not hear that.
yeah. That's it. Some like Eileen says, some have a brilliant EVP here, and yeah, I've investigated, and like some people hear everything, and it's so clear what they're saying. Oh, Nicola does. I don't know if Nicola's still watching, but she's got a good EVP. Yeah, but
But,
I
but
can't.
I'm
I
more
can't
into
tell what they
voices.
say.
What's that?
I can't tell what they say, or the spirit box as well. Like people get words out of spirit box, and I won't hear it. I won't. I
The
won't
spirit
identify it.
boxes hurt. They hurt me.
Oh,
Um,
that noise. Yeah.
yeah.
E- Yeah.
Um, that kind of frequency, the stuff that they're bringing in, that hurts my ears. So
Yeah.
unless they have the volume down on that, I can't be with them when they're doing a spirit box session.
Yeah. Totally get it. It's annoying anyway. I think.
That too.
Yeah.
That too. It is important.
But
Uh,
then again, I do love the Estes method. But I do find the SB7 annoying with the white noise. But
I'm the
yeah.
guy asking the questions on the SS method because I don't have to hear what these guys are
Oh
hearing.
gosh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Have you had some great results on the Estes before?
We I have been a part of a couple of double SS methods.
Wow.
Um, and the two people there, they got their backs to each other, they got
Yeah,
blindfolds on, and they're listening to the same thing. I would like to do one spirit box with somebody and another spirit box with someone else and see
yeah.
if they get the same results from that.
That'd be a good one. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
done a four-way one, and I've actually got footage of it. So
Yeah.
I took part in it, and three others. And in the end, one girl was picking up so much which was relevant, and we didn't actually hear it. So whether it's frequency, I think she did have a, a hearing issue anyway, but she
Right.
was like picking up so much. And in the end, it was all her saying things, and we weren't. In the end, something got too close to me, so I had to call it. I
Oh,
got overshadowed, so yeah, I had to step out of that one. It just got a bit close, but yeah,
yeah. I could never be the guy that's being a part of the SS method.
yeah, I get you.
SS method. Why is that such a tongue twister for me?
It is, isn't it?
Um, because I can't do the headphones because I do wear my hearing aids and
Yeah,
I
oh
don't
no,
want to take my hearing aids out in a lot of in these locations because 90% of our locations are on concrete floor. And if I were to drop one of my hearing aids on concrete floor, that's the end of it.
yeah, that's right.
Right. So I don't want to take that chance anyway.
Yeah,
Um,
totally get you.
and how some of these people can handle the sounds of the spirit box, I don't get it.
Yeah,
How does that not hurt you? It hurts my ears, and I'm deaf. You can hear. How does that not hurt you?
it does annoy. It really
Yeah,
does.
I.
I do like using that method, and very often I'll tune in.
Mhm.
So whoever's coming through the Estes, I'll tune in and I'll sort of get given the questions to ask,
Yeah.
and then somehow we'll get the answer, and it can generally
Oh,
build up the picture of what's in the
put
room.
me
Which
in a
is,
place to ask questions. I will ask questions all night long.
yeah,
I got no
it's
problem
just
with that.
listening to it.
Just don't put those headphones on me because they will not stay there.
Yeah, Eileen says noisy apps drive her crazy.
I am not a fan of any app of any kind.
Yeah,
because those apps can be pre-programmed with so many. I don't trust them.
Yeah, I do know a developer who's done it, and it's not. Oh gosh, it jumps over different banks and it's reverse audio. So if something comes out as a word, but then for
Right,
me, it's hearing it. You've got to be in tune with it to hear it, and I can't always. And I think you have to listen to it quite a while before you can actually tell what it's being said.
right.
And it's for me, it's hard to decipher.
There was another app that I tested just to see what it is.
Yeah.
Um, well, I'll give you two. I'll give you two apps that I tried out. One I tried that was supposed to be a thermal app. Okay,
All right. Oh yes. Yeah.
so I downloaded it, and sure
Awesome.
enough, you
Yeah.
got all the different colors. Then I put it to my TV. Now the screen itself is supposed to be one color,
Yeah.
white. I got all of the actors lined out in the thermal on that thing.
Oh no.
Okay, delete it, uninstall.
Yeah.
And then
I.
there was another one that was an EMF reader.
Oh wow.
Okay, let's see how this works. So I'm going around my house and I'll get spikes here and there. But you know where I won't get a spike at? My circuit breaker box.
Ah, yeah, exactly.
Nothing. I go
Yeah.
away. Oh, it's all lighting up everywhere.
Yeah. I saw this guy and he was actually using the ghost tube SLS for evidence. Okay.
Yeah,
And it's blatantly obvious it was mapping things out on the ground and everything. So for the hell of it, I actually got it. Oh my gosh, it's awful. Oh dear. I've actually got it on my phone, but it's just so. Oh, how people can think that's true, I don't know.
yeah. So so when it comes to phone apps, for me, if you want to use them, go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm not going to use them.
Yeah, I think I've seen it work for different people. I don't know whether they're in tune with it. I've even used one in Scotland, and all of a sudden, Scottish voices and accents were coming through, and Scottish words. But it's the Team Spirit Paranormal one, and
Um,
they are actually from Sheffield, which is a totally different accent from Scotland. So how does that happen? And that app is interesting, but I can't get on with it that well. But
I
it's just where it is, isn't
I
it?
just wonder if it might be that AI technology where they're
No,
listening for it.
there's no AI in it.
No,
I do know the developer. This was before AI's around as
okay.
much as it is now. Like nowadays, AI. Like even like the Galaxy S. I've got the Samsung Galaxy S23. It takes great moonshots. And now saying it's AI. So you point your phone at the moon, you zoom in on it, it suddenly
Uh-huh.
gets it, and then it's using AI to actually fill it in. And it's actually on the internet that, yeah, Samsung are actually using AI. So now it's put me off with the photography on the Samsung.
AI is getting scary though.
It is. It's mad.
AI is getting scary. There was a like a 2 or 3 week period where everybody was posting these AI generated pictures,
Oh,
and these people were scary looking.
yeah, definitely.
Well, I think one of their hands had 6 fingers on it. Yeah,
Oh,
they.
dear.
And I'm thinking, why are people relying on AI so much? Is it so that they can get the job done without actually having to do it?
Yeah,
But
it's
this,
unbelievable. And even the guy who's been responsible for AI has sort of said how scary it is now, isn't it? That he's come out and mentioned it,
right?
saying
Um,
it's just gone too far.
I understand using technology. We do need to have technology for certain things,
Yeah,
absolutely.
definitely.
But for other things, not necessarily.
No. We certainly need the human factor. This should be, it's about us and what we do. You don't want
yeah.
too much stepping in, do you?
I remember one person used AI to write a script.
They've mentioned people writing novels using AI.
Yeah, what
Yeah,
is the joy in that? I enjoy doing the writing myself and putting myself into that world. I
yeah.
can't do that if I use AI to write my stories
No.
because the chances are AI is going to get it wrong.
Well, that's it. Yeah. It might not even be relatable to us. Like it might write a story, and at the end you think, "What the hell?"
Or even comprehensible.
Yeah. Admittedly, with work, there's a question I didn't know the answer to. So I got an email, and I kind of thought I knew the answer.
Right?
So for a laugh, I put it into Chat GPT, I think it's called. So I put the question in there, and it was very similar to the answer I was given, and it was so vague, just like I would have been. So it didn't nail it either. But it was like government guidance, which I have to answer questions on sometimes.
And here's another thing that AI can never do. It can't act in theater like you do.
Oh gosh, yeah, I've got an audition tomorrow night.
So yeah, it's because if somebody were to try to use AI to do theater,
Oh
then
yeah,
that's going to take away the experience that you're getting
that's
as that
right.
character and the experience that the audience getting because they're getting the experience from you.
Yeah. It's audition on Wednesday. That's it. It's for a pantomime. So yeah, so I'm looking. It's an interesting one.
It's yeah, but AI really is getting scary, and somehow I can't help but think eventually AI is going to be one of the reasons this world ends.
There's quite a few reasons, really, aren't there?
Yeah,
Human race is on self-destruct so much.
Terminator comes to mind.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, it's mad, isn't it? If it's not too late. Oh, we don't want to start on that one, though, do we?
Could be. I don't know.
Yeah, I just don't know, but I certainly won't be around for it. So, yeah.
Hopefully not.
Nah.
'Cause I don't want to. I don't want to see that kind of war. We've already seen enough wars as it is. I don't want to see human versus AI wars.
Oh my god, can you imagine? Oh, yes, I am. I've even had that line. Yeah. So it's kind of the actual panto is called Space Wars. So it's got interesting characters like Flash Jordan, Buzz Leap Year. So it's kind of a mix of things, and Spock's in there as well. So it's
Yep.
really kind of crazy mixture of yeah. So yeah, we'll see.
I'd like to see AI come up with the kind of imagination that we can have sometimes.
Yeah, that's it. But don't oh gosh, don't even try it. Ugh.
Right. Right.
But yeah. But it's been an interesting chat anyway. It really has. And thank you for your time.
I've enjoyed it.
Oh, it's brilliant. And good luck on your books and everything. Oh my gosh, we're singing that song. We've got to sing this on the. Oh my god, we've been doing. Oh my gosh, that is so hard to sing. So we split into two groups, and we're doing the two parts. Oh my gosh, it gets absolutely crazy. One of those, but yeah, we're doing that in the panto. But yeah, we've got the time warp on it as well. So we're doing the
Well,
time warp in the panto. So yeah, it's just going to
I
be
could
awesome.
never get into that song.
Oh, we love
You know
it.
what? Yeah, I could never get into that song.
Oh, we love it with theatre groups. They're all OTT anyway. Like often when we used to go out for people's birthdays and wear fancy dress.
Mhm.
So we'd go around the city in fancy dress. Nobody else was. But yeah, we'd just have a theme and that was it. We'd just walk around and go out and
The only thing from that song that I know is like put your hand on your hip and something else. It's like that 4 lines.
Yeah.
Put your hand on your hip,
Step to
move
left,
to the
step to
left, or
yeah,
something like that.
yeah.
Yeah, but other than that, I that is one of the few songs I cannot get into, and I've tried. I just can't get into that song. I can't explain it, and I love music.
Yeah, but it's kind of different from music though,
Yeah,
isn't it? To be
but
fair.
not that song for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, it is kind of unusual. But yeah, it's kind of like the initiation for the drama group because we kind of love it. So like like if we have a Christmas party or after show party, we always get a DJ to play that, and yeah, and
Yeah,
then like everyone else in the bar's kind of watching us all because yeah, we're celebrating the end of the show. But yeah,
you know
so it's
what's
all
even
about stuff.
worse? The movie that came from Rocky Horror Picture
But,
Show.
oh my gosh, yeah.
I've never seen it.
Well, oh my gosh, I saw it when I was about 15. I didn't have a clue what it's about. I didn't understand why people were dressed how they were dressed.
I have never seen that
Oh
movie.
my gosh, I've seen it. They had a live showing. They had a London performance, and they had a live show in the cinema, local cinema. So we all dressed up, yeah, in appropriate Rocky Horror gear,
I
and we went to a
New
local
York
theatre and
did
watched it.
I think New York did a run with that show for many years.
I love it.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Hello.
yeah. But
Uh,
yeah, it's I don't know. It's just funny. But yeah, we are doing the time walk in our panto and the starboard side. So the Klingons on your starboard
well,
too.
I have enjoyed the audience, so thank you guys so much for playing along with us today. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah. Oh, cheers, Eileen, Nicola. Hi. Thanks, Ian. Thanks, everyone, for watching. But yeah, had a laugh and yeah, and thanks for that. And if anybody is still watching, how do they get tickets in the US for the paranormal event you're organising?
Yeah, that's Paranormal Giving Tree. We got 3 locations this year. Um, we got 2 in New York and 1 in Mississippi. So that's July the 15th from 7 p.m. to 2 a.m. local time, depending on what time zone that they're in. They are for first responders. It's a free event. Come in, enjoy the haunted location, and maybe you'll get scared that night.
Yeah. So if anybody just
Yeah.
watch the end of a show, then yeah, just get in touch with Things Network, I'd say. Yeah. But yeah. But thanks everyone for watching. Take care, everyone. Look after yourselves and
Good night,
speak to you
everybody.
next week. Have fun.